um, with Jeff Goldblum. That was pretty weird.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very very weird one.
But you've been devoting hardcore hours to Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I know it's been a slog. Well, like I read this New Yorker article and this guy was bashing it. Like the critic was like really not into it, and I could kind of see where he was going from, but it made me want to watch it anyway. I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a good time."
But it is a lot better than the 2017 cut.
Yeah,
Did you
nice.
ever see the
I
2017
never
cut?
saw it.
Oh, it
No,
was bad. It was bad.
huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
because I heard that like he left the project and there
Yeah.
was like some tragedy in his life and he
Yeah.
came back. Yeah, they hired Joss
Yeah.
on to rewrite it.
Yep.
He was probably like, I'm gonna make this kind of bad because I make a lot more money off of Marvel.
It's fucked
All
up.
right,
All right.
we are live. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Movie Mood. I'm your host, Alex Van Horn.
I'm John Alberto.
And today we're talking actors. We're just talking actors that we like, kind of riffing off what's it mean to be a film actor? What are some great film actors that are out there that are living today, that have passed on? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, and it's you always think about your Academy Award actors, your Daniel Day-Lewis's, but there are other people out there too that may not have the recognition, but you may just enjoy watching their movies sometimes.
For
So
sure. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. And I think that when I was looking over my list, it was kind of hard to say because there's so many actors that I love, but they're not necessarily, really pretentious choices. They're just actors I like to see on the screen that make me smile or I enjoy. Like not so much that they're like really great actors, so much as just really good performers.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure we'll kind of go all over the place with this conversation, but who's one of those ones that just makes you smile, that you just like to see on screen?
So I'm a big Cage head. I'm a big Nicolas Cage
That's true.
fan.
Yeah.
Even the worst Nicolas Cage movies. I watched a recent one called Grand Isle on Netflix. Oh, not on Netflix, on Hulu. And it was a really bad movie, but you know what? I was having the time of my life because like just all the, yeah, idiosyncrasies of Nicolas Cage and all his ridiculousness. It kind of made it work for me.
Right. He has such a unique charisma. Like
Yeah.
he's he's his energy is out there and it's fun to watch. But like Nicolas Cage, he back in the 90s, early 2000s, Nicolas Cage was viewed as this like, great actor,
Yeah.
um, and now, when I think of Nicolas Cage, I think of like Left Behind and
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a gem, actually.
Is it? Nice. And that's cool. Like I'm glad he's like I'm glad when I see someone having fun on screen. Yeah.
Yeah. And he can definitely, I feel like within his kind of persona, he can really kind of dial it in and give a really good performance. For example, in Mandy, one of my favorites, I felt like he was kind of doing like his hero bit, his hero shtick, but he was also really dialing into some emotional stuff
Mhm.
from his character. So I feel like he is a good actor when he's in his area. He doesn't have like maybe the versatility of Daniel Day-Lewis, who can just kind of emerge with in the skin of somebody else almost. But for Nicolas Cage, is like he kind of needs a certain area that he will shine in.
Yeah. Speaking of Nicolas Cage embracing that hero role, did you know that he was almost cast as Superman?
I heard about that. There was like a Tim Burton Superman possibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that
That
one.
would have been
But
fun to
you know what?
watch.
I would have watched it.
I would have watched it too.
That would have
Yeah.
been cool. So who's one of your favorite actors just to watch?
Just fun watch. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a great
Ab-
choice. Yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything, the
Mm.
comedy, the action, all of it just works together. And beyond that, I like Arnold Schwarzenegger as a person. Um,
Yeah.
so um, um, yeah, I watched him in
Governor.
I watched say that again.
As a governor.
I didn't live in California, but I know in recent years he has been promoting access to elections, which is something that I care very deeply about.
Mm.
But side note, going back to the movies,
Yeah.
yeah, he is. I watched True Lies recently,
Yeah.
and he just brings action and comedy so well together. Um, I a lot of people compare Arnold Schwarzenegger to Sylvester Stallone and like the action movies of the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And I love Sylvester Stallone for one role, and that's Rocky, because I love Rocky, but like
Yeah.
his other stuff like Rambo and
First
everything like that.
Blood.
Yeah, First
Never
Blood.
seen it actually.
It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't do it for me, but
Mm.
with Schwarzenegger, he can kind of go everywhere,
Yeah.
and I like watching the Terminator. I even like watching Batman and Robin because
Right.
he's making those ice puns throughout. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
still haven't seen that one either, but yeah, that's somebody I totally forgot about. Kind of in the same vein as Nicolas Cage. I remember this book I read by the director Alex Cox where he was talking about like level, I can't remember what it was, but it's like levels of seriousness in a movie. Like you're talking about like a genre. You can have like think about the film noir genre. You have something that's like and I can't remember how he put it, but it was like very serious and then like something that's over the top. And then there's some other level that was like it's in the genre, but it might be like really, really realistic or something.
mm-hmm.
They're like different levels. And he was like, I guess if you could think about like Chinatown as kind of like a perfect film noir versus something like Dick Tracy, which is just this totally absurd, like campy
For sure.
thing. I feel like most Arnold Schwarzenegger movies and probably Nicolas Cage movies are kind of in that area where,
It's a little bit more on the campy side.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's fine with me. Like I know I've mentioned in the past, some of my favorite movies are those hyper realistic movies, those Manchester by the Seas, the
Yeah.
Marriage Story. But when you're in the right mood for it, camp is great, and camp's a delight.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Camp is some of my favorite. One of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies that is incredibly campy and incredibly over the top and satirical is Total Recall.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it still has those like Philip K. Dick, philosophical questions that are so popular even nowadays. And but it's also like insanely ridiculous and overly violent, and like you're supposed to believe like Arnold Schwarzenegger is just this regular guy.
Right.
He's a regular
That's
construction
one of my
guy.
favorite things about him is like in every movie he's starting out as just like, a regular dude. Like not like the 80s action movies like Predator and Terminator and stuff, but like in the
Commando
90s
or whatever.
movies like Kindergarten Cop
Yeah.
and
He's just
Jingle
a
All the
regular
Way.
guy.
He's just like some dude's dad.
I'm just a teacher. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I recently watched Kindergarten Cop, and that's another fun. It's a fun one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Nice.
I'm definitely a fan of his stuff. And yeah, him and Nicolas Cage. It would be fun to see a Nicolas Cage Arnold Schwarzenegger uh film.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I would buy a ticket in a heartbeat.
I know.
Yeah. Um,
But
yeah,
yeah,
but
so who's some other great actors on your list?
so let's go back in time to old school actors, you know,
Hmm.
like like uh like the 40s. Because I
Oh yeah,
wanted to and it's going to be an unexpected one, kind of a good character actor that maybe didn't get the credit he deserved all the time, and that's Claude Rains.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I wasn't thinking so much about old style actors, but there's some majorly yeah, some of my favorite actors have been from back in the day. Definitely one of the best supporting actors for sure
Yeah,
in all movie history, I think.
I think so too. And he also was like a as a supporting actor, like Casablanca comes to mind, of course.
Mhm.
And then kind of before that, he was really into the Universal horror movies.
Yeah,
The Invisible Man, which is just which I mean, you only see him on screen for a second, but
yeah.
you're just listening to that Claude Rains voice the entire time and watching like things move on wires because he's
Mhm.
invisible and moving stuff, and
Yeah.
it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I only saw it one time, but I really enjoyed it. Um, he's also in Lawrence of Arabia, being
Yes.
very Claude Rains.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and in one of my favorite Hitchcock movies, also Notorious.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, he's one of the best. I feel like him and maybe like Walter Brennan are like the defining character actors of the golden age of Hollywood.
Right. What about you? Do you have any character actors on your list?
Oh yes, I
Yeah.
do. I think some of my favorite actors are character actors because um you have your in a lot of these cases you have the leads who are the main people. They usually are playing themselves like over and over and over again or different variations like um one actor I just thought about Leonardo DiCaprio, but I think he's really worth talking about. I'm gonna bring him up in a second. But Harry Dean Stanton is actually probably one of my favorite actors of all time.
Nice.
Um, I think he did kind of get into his own almost. Oh, one second. Sorry,
Yeah.
I got
And
more.
Harry Dean Stanton, he showed up in Alien, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Love
and
it.
he kind of plays like a variation on himself a lot, but I feel like it really works, and he's just awesome. He's one of those actors that you feel like so much is done with just his face, like just his expressions. Like he has so little going on his face, but you still can read it, and it's very much like a less is more sort of thing, which is for me that's my favorite thing about film actors in general. It's just the body language
Mhm.
and communication through the eyes because a lot of the actors that I think Harry Dean Stanton is it looks like there's not a lot going on there, but there's actually a lot.
Right. And I think actors benefit a lot if they're good actors from the close-up shots that
Yeah,
that some directors like to take. Like I recently watched The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and
yeah,
it is full of those close-up shots. And there's not, with the exception of Tuco, there's not a ton of dialogue. Like
mhm.
Clint Eastwood and Angel Eyes don't have a ton of dialogue, but they convey so much through their eyes. And that's always really
Yeah,
cool to see.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
and in those spaghetti westerns, like a lot of comparisons are made between like it's always like close up and then landscape, and it's like kind of creating like the faces, the landscape of movies or whatever. It's almost like you're looking at uh, a landscape when you're looking at a face.
Right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. But Harry Dean Stanton, like he was working with some of the best people and he didn't really kind of hit his, stride until the 80s. But he was appearing in movies in the 60s and 70s and all the way till a few years ago when he was in the Twin Peaks TV show. Um, and he's still like quintessential Harry Dean in that show, and I think probably his best work is probably Repo Man or Paris, Texas. Actually, it's probably Paris, Texas, because he gets that lead role. and he's really incredible in that movie. You've
Nice.
seen it.
Yeah, I need to see Paris, Texas.
Yeah.
I that's been on my list for quite some time. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
One of my faves.
nice.
But how about you? I'm gonna make an order for some food really quick because I'm getting
Do it.
text
Uh,
messages. But what's another actor for you?
so a good character actor. I mean, we've talked about Willem Dafoe in detail, but he is certainly up there. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, Robert Pattinson too. Um, Robert Pattinson is I've been hyping up Robert Pattinson for years, but I
You
think
bet.
he's
You
really
were
come.
you were into him before he was cool.
Yeah. I'm like I should have been his agent.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is very cerebral almost, like when you watch interviews with him, like you don't get the persona that you would expect from him. And then you go see him on screen in movies like The Lighthouse or movies like Good Time or movies like Cosmopolis, and he's anywhere from, super calm to just like going absolutely
That
wild.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I've grown to appreciate him more and more. I wasn't super into Twilight, of course, back in the day. Um, I remember you were though. You loved
Oh,
Twilight.
I love New Moon.
Yeah,
Saw it
New
like five
Moon.
times.
My image of New Moon is just that one guy with his shirt off in the rain.
Yeah, Taylor Lautner with his abs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because just giving a close up of the abs for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I feel like one movie I remember he was doing Cosmopolis, and that was a big deal. But I remember that there was one that was in the jungle. What was that one? And he had a
Lost City of Z.
Lost City of Z. Yeah, I remember like that movie was pretty okay. And it was pretty fast. It was like the story was really interesting, but it just felt really like slow and um I don't know, just kind of sleepy. But Robert Pattinson's performance stood out, and I was
Yeah.
whoa, he's like some guy from that time period. He's got the full beard, and he's like, yeah, he just seems like he's there in that role, and that was the one where I think that was before Good Time came out, and
Yeah,
um,
that was just a few months before Good Time.
yeah, that was before Good Time and before um oh, what's that space movie he did with Claire Denise? I'm blanking on that one. And all the other stuff. I mean, he's gotten into some big roles that, you know, um are probably a lot of work. They're not just, like Remember Me or something.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, he's a really impressive actor, and I think he's gotten better. And yeah, he's pretty incredible. Um, and The Lighthouse, of course, I think that was a big one. I was like, whoa, like Good Time and The Lighthouse together, like he's perfect. He's fantastic.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about some actresses that we like?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. So I think probably my favorite or one of my favorite actresses is Laura Dern.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like her in Marriage Story recently. Little Women. But she's been in some other stuff. I mean, she's been in David Lynch movies, Blue Velvet. She's great in um, the Twin Peaks the last season. And there's also one called Citizen Ruth that I love. She's so good in that movie. That
Yeah.
movie's awesome. That's Alexander Payne's. I think it's his first movie.
Nice.
And yeah, she's one of the best. She's
Yeah, Laura.
probably my favorite. Her and Ray Liotta were like my favorite part of Marriage Story.
Oh, see, I liked her and I liked Alan Alda.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah,
I miss Alan Alda, man. That
yeah.
that guy's an actor.
He's got a good spirit.
Yeah, he's got a great spirit. Like I went through a phase where I was just like watching MASH, like the TV show, and
yeah.
and The
I
West
actually
Wing.
haven't watched much of that show, but I mean, I've seen parts of it and I've
Yeah,
enjoyed it, but I just haven't taken the time.
it's very different from the movie MASH.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
also terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What about you? What are some actresses that you like?
Laura. Yeah, so Laura Dern is terrific. I actually failed to put her on my list, but I feel bad for overlooking her. Um, Recently, I know this may sound like a basic choice, and I certainly don't mean it to. But Scarlett Johansson, and I'm not talking about the MCU. I'm talking about Marriage Story. I'm talking about the 2019 that she had, Marriage Story, Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah,
You know, and then even going back and then
translation.
Lost in Translation.
Yeah,
Um, she's terrific.
I just realized my favorite current my one of my favorite actresses, and I didn't put her on the list because I didn't think about her, but I think Florence Pugh.
Oh, from Midsummer.
Yeah, yeah, I think she's one of my favorite actresses right now.
Yeah.
She's really good. Midsummer, her Lady Macbeth, even the show Little Drummer Girl that was directed by that one guy who did Old Boy. She's fantastic.
Spike Lee.
Spike
Spike Lee made the remake of Old Boy with Josh Brolin.
No, 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 no. The original. Old
Right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not Spike Lee.
not Spike Lee.
I wish.
um, yeah, no, I've actually only seen her in Midsummer, which took a long time to grow on me, but now it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, she does so much crying in Midsummer.
it's an emotional ride.
Yeah, it's an emotional, traumatic experience.
Yeah. And
Uh,
she's
yeah.
there with that one guy, not her boyfriend, but her boyfriend's friend, who's just like an asshole, Will Poulter with the eyebrows.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I only saw it one time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That
But
that movie's craziness.
yeah. Let's see, who else do I like? I like Claire Foy a lot.
Yeah,
I've
Claire
only
Foy. Yeah,
I've only seen her in The Crown and in First Man, but I saw First Man first before I saw The Crown, and she was terrific in it. She was like,
yeah.
I had no idea she wasn't. I didn't know she was in The Crown. I didn't know she was British. Like I thought
Hmm.
she was an American from Ohio.
Yeah, she has a good American accent. Yeah.
Yeah,
And she definitely seems like she could be somebody from the suburbs of Ohio.
yeah.
And these yeah. She's good, yeah. And First Man I have mixed feelings about, but I do.
Oh, it'll grow on you,
Oh
Alex.
yeah. As
If
I
it
get
hasn't already
older
from
and
the days of watching it, but
I just need to watch it 20 more times and I'll
yeah, yeah,
get back to you.
just watch it 400 more times and you'll
I love this movie.
dude, I love First Man.
It's a good one. I mean, I have to say though, I mean, the performances are pretty incredible from Claire Foy and Ryan Gosling, and
Yeah,
yeah, so pretty clear.
Jason Clark.
Jason Clark, that's true.
I've always liked Jason Clark.
He's
Like,
good. He's good.
yeah.
Good in Public Enemies.
Yeah, Everest. Wait, is that what it's called? Everest?
Movie.
The
I
one
think
where
it is
they
called Everest.
the one
Yeah,
where they climb Everest.
yeah, that's basically the John Krakauer thing.
Yes. But it's told from a different perspective. So like whoever wrote this book wasn't too keen on John Krakauer's presentation because they
Mm,
make John Krakauer like do absolutely nothing in the movie. But yeah.
that was probably
It was like it was yeah. But Everest was a good movie.
forgot about
Side
that
note.
one. Yeah, that's a
I liked
good
it.
one.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
talking about leading men, somebody I forget to put on my list, but I do really love, and I think he's kind of similar to Robert Pattinson as well, because in a lot of ways he kind of fights to be like, hey, I'm a good actor too, is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, I think Leonardo DiCaprio won that fight a long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, like since like 2007, actually. Yeah. But
Yeah.
he's pretty incredible. He might be like the best uh like leading actor, like living leading actor at the moment.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those actors where I would actively go out of my way. Like I do it with directors all the time, but rarely do I do it with actors. But
Yeah.
he's one where I would go out of the way to see if he was starring in a movie, I would certainly watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps that he works with terrific directors pretty much all the time now.
Yeah.
Of course, he's known for working with Scorsese. He worked with Spielberg in the past, and now once Tarantino in the
Yeah.
2010s. So
And Ritu for The Revenant.
yes.
What's your favorite Leo performance? Or what how about actually let me put it this way. What's your favorite like Leo era? Because I feel like every year he does like a string of movies that are kind of in the same vein. What's your favorite like one of those movies and then like that era? What do you think?
Hmm. I think we've gotten the best performances out of Leo in the current era, like
Yeah.
right about now. I think my favorite Leo era was probably, '06 with The Departed through 2010 with like Shutter Island, Inception,
Yeah,
stuff
for
like that.
sure.
But yeah,
Yeah.
what about you?
I do like the Shutter Island and Inception year when he was doing that. But I also like the Django Unchained Great Gatsby time when he was kind of like the crazy rich dude.
And
Um,
Wolf of Wall Street, same year.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was I that was back when I was buying Blu-rays before I bought everything on digital.
Yeah.
And I actually really like The Great Gatsby movie quite a lot.
Mhm.
Um,
It's
but
good. Yeah.
it's good, and I think as controversial as this is, I think Baz Luhrmann was a terrific choice to direct that movie. Like,
Yeah,
uh,
it's really close to the book. Or like really close in a weird way. Like they have like the lines will actually like are on the screen.
yeah,
But it's cool and like it's got a good aesthetic and I like how they return like almost like a silent film. They have this like um with the title credits, they like kind of return to this like shape, which I thought
yeah.
was pretty cool. Yeah, it's a good one. Although like Baz Luhrmann could kind of be, for me at least, can be a bit much. I think that was a really good movie. He just
Oh, he certainly can be a bit
fast.
much,
Yeah.
but yeah. Yeah, and it's funny, like speaking of that, fabulously wealthy Leonardo DiCaprio era,
Yeah.
2013, when he was, Jay Gatsby and Jordan Belfort in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Mhm.
I bought the Blu-rays, and he's just standing in the exact same pose with the exact same face on each of the covers.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he does it like yearly. He's like, who am I gonna
Yeah,
be this year? Oh, I'm gonna be a crazy caveman. Oh, I'm gonna be like somebody who is insane but is trying to solve a mystery.
yeah, kind of.
Inception and Shutter Island. I love those. I mean, I love those two
Yeah,
movies.
even Blood Diamond and The Departed to an extent. Like the noble-ish action
Yeah.
hero. I or like who has to like kind of become more noble as the movie progresses.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, I
My
think.
internet is being a little funky.
Oh, I think he was I think he was a good guy in Blood Diamond. I don't remember. It's been a very long time since I've seen that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more or less.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of roguish or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like from The Departed. He's like, you know, undercover cop.
Yeah.
What are
Um,
some other I've got a few big names that I could talk about. Well, what are some other
uh,
titans on the list?
um, Joaquin Phoenix is up there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Walking and I know neither of us really cared for Joker, which is the movie that he ultimately won an
Yeah.
Oscar for.
Mhm.
But
It's a it seems like a long time coming Oscar.
Yeah, exactly. He's incredible in everything he does. And his filmography is really diverse as well. You know,
Yeah,
you've got, Gladiator in the early 2000s, Walk the Line, which is one of my favorite music
yeah,
biopics. And it's really cool because he actually does his own singing, so he's like kind of presenting it in a slightly different way than Johnny Cash versus
mm,
like something like Bohemian Rhapsody where they tried to make him sound like as much like Freddie Mercury as
yeah,
possible. Um, and then The Master, which is
yes.
probably Paul Thomas Anderson's best movie.
Oh,
Ooh, maybe not. Well, second best movie. His second best movie.
controversial.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, you should see Inherent Vice.
I know.
You
I
should,
know. I'll get
yeah, I think
around
that's
to it.
my favorite Joaquin Phoenix performance. I love it. So good. Um, but yeah, his filmography is very diverse. The Master is a crazy one. It is so good though. Yeah. I don't know if it's Paul Thomas Anderson's best though. You
Well,
think
yeah.
Blood,
Then I remembered that big one that everybody
Magnolia,
likes. There Will Be Blood with another great titan of the industry, Daniel
GDO.
Lewis. Yeah,
Yeah. But the Master's certainly great. And I think Inherent Vice is really, really good. What else with Joaquin? He's good in everything. Sort of similar to I kind of for some reason always pin him together with it's because of the master, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
yeah,
I feel like they're very similar, very methody actors, that are really just amazing. That's the cool thing about like the master is that it you feel like it doesn't really like at certain parts it doesn't really have a story. It just has these setups for them to like be their characters together.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Like that jail scene where they're stuck together. It's just like them so in character. It's insane.
Yeah, it's incredible, and see that Philip Seymour Hoffman, who obviously was a incredible actor.
Yeah.
He also did a lot of work with Paul Thomas Anderson prior to that
Hmm.
as well. So it was
Yeah, he's
cool.
like
And
he's like the best part of Boogie Nights, or like the best. I mean, there's some great performances in Boogie Nights and Magnolia, but he's certainly like the best, has the best performance in Boogie Nights.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, and her.
That's
Um,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
which I've seen her, and I really like her. Do you like her?
I think I do. I
Yeah.
remember it was weird because I mean, it's a weird movie because it's about, this guy who falls in love with a robot, falls in love with his computer.
Right. Right.
And I just remember like it had some really like I came out of it and I was like, I like that. It was good. It's not my favorite like Spike Jonze movie. Um, but I liked it. I felt like it had some very strong reactions from people I talked to, like different sort of film heads. Like I just remember a lot of people like at least film people I was talking to didn't really like it. They thought it was kind of weird, and I don't know. I think it definitely struck a chord with people, especially in this age where like we live with dating apps and all this stuff where we're
Right. Yeah.
creating our profile pictures. We know this time period we live in,
Yep.
but yeah, I thought it was really good, and he gives an amazing performance um, as well, of course, as in all of his movies. Um, yeah, I think I liked it. I didn't love it though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I see. Are there any up and coming actors that stand out to you right now?
there's this new actor I've been watching lately who's had some really great performances in 2019. And I think we can expect a lot from him. His name is Al Pacino.
Nice. Never heard of him.
He's Al Pacino. I just want to talk about him for a second.
Please
Uh,
do.
yeah, so I feel like he's one of those actors who has done the DDL. He's done like performances that are that good, but he's also done performances that are like Nicolas Cage, and like either way, like whatever he decides to do, I'm I'm ready for it. I'm signed up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen The Devil's Advocate?
Oh yeah, I think we watched it together.
Did we? Okay. Yeah, that might
So
be.
good.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Michael Corleone is a great role. The character he plays in Dog Day Afternoon,
Yeah.
great role. Serpico, all that stuff. But his performance in The Devil's Advocate might be my absolute favorite.
I remember just there's the shot where he like dips his hand into like holy water or something, and he just like looks at the camera or something.
Yeah, like sizzles or something.
Yeah,
And
he's
then
like,
he's playing off Keanu Reeves playing a Southern lawyer, and so it just works perfectly. It just meshes so well together.
he's an absentee landlord. I think he really had it, especially 2019. He kind of had a comeback year, which I was really happy about. In Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then The Irishman.
Yep.
It was just really, really nice to see. Like, I remember when I saw The Irishman, there's that scene where he's just yelling at his people. I was like cracking up in the theater. He's great. Uh, and we've talked about The Irishman. The two best performances I think are Joe Pesci and Al Pacino. Robert De Niro,
Yeah.
sure.
Al Pacino was my favorite part of The Irishman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But Joe Pesci is kind of like the subtle best performance in the movie. But Al Pacino is your favorite to watch. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Jimmy Hoffa.
yeah, off the wires, unhinged.
Yeah.
But also, in the Insider and other stuff, like, I feel like I can enjoy those performances, and I think for me, one of the big things about actors, even if they're like really great actors, if they don't have like that presence in a film, then it's not really it doesn't really connect for me. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
yeah, like somebody like Charlton Heston is somebody with presence, but who isn't necessarily like a great actor.
Kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But someone who is up and coming and has a presence on screen is Daniel Kaluuya from
Oh, yeah.
Get Out,
Right, yeah.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Definitely.
Yeah. He is. I really hope he wins the Oscar this year.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, you've got to check it out. But
Yeah.
it's probably my favorite performance of the year. And yeah, he really does have a presence on screen. Him and Michael B. Jordan as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And who's the other guy in Judas and the Black Priest? Is it
Lakeith Stanfield.
Keith Stanfield? Yeah, he's also another big one.
Yeah.
He's a pretty young guy, but yeah, he's one of the best up and coming actors.
Yeah, I love him in Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, if you haven't seen, listeners out there, if you haven't seen Sorry to Bother You, check it out. It's
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think the word is out on Sorry to Bother You. It's yeah, it was one of the best. Talk about a realistic performance from Army Hammer as well.
I know. Oh my gosh.
So crazy.
Army.
But definitely a good one. It's so weird. I saw that with my parents.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't think they got it. They were into it. They were like, "That was dumb." Like,
no, it was
great.
I adore Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah, so
yeah.
good.
Cool.
Who are some other up and coming actors? You know who I think is an underrated actor? It is Amanda Seyfried.
Oh yeah, she is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her in the Mamma Mia movies, and she was great in Mank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's taken, although she's done Mamma Mia, she's kind of known for like the romantic comedy bit. She does take some like pretty challenging roles. Mank, she was really good. But she was also in like First Reformed
Right.
and Twin Peaks season 3. So she's kind of like, trying to expand her horizons and do different things. And she's good. She's also like one of those people like she goes to 100 on everything, on all the emotions in her movies, and which probably makes her good for those really extreme uh underground, not underground, but really subversive movies, I guess, like
Yeah.
Formed in Twin Peaks. Like she
It,
just goes 100 on that.
it's nice to see her getting some recognition this year from Mank.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though I don't think either of us were huge on Mank,
Yeah.
her performance was definitely a standout in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Random question.
Sure.
Random question. Side note: of the Hollywood Chris's, which one is your favorite?
Hmm. What do you got? Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt.
Yeah, you got Hemsworth, Pratt, Evans, and Pine.
Oh yeah. Hmm. I think I'm a Hemsworth.
Oh, you're Hemsworth. Nice. Good choice. Good choice.
Yeah, he's great in Thor Ragnarok, which I think is the best. I think it is literally the best of the Marvel movies. I don't think it's a maybe a controversial thing to say for some people, but I think it's the best Marvel movie.
It's pretty up there.
Yeah.
It's definitely top two for me.
And then Spider-Man 3 and then
Spider-Man 3.
yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Um but no, yeah, I think he's my favorite. And I think it's his humor. Like I think he's a funny actor. I think I
Nice.
like that. Appreciate that.
Nice.
Um, Chris Pratt, kind of iffy, and but I do like Chris Pine, and I don't know if I've seen enough of Chris Evans to know if he's a good actor. He was really good in um
The Snow one.
yes,
Snowpiercer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, and Knives Out, was that it? Yeah,
Yes, he was good in Knives Out.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, Hemsworth. How about you?
I'm a Pine man myself.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Star Trek,
Yep. Star Trek.
Woman,
Hell or High Water.
Hell or High Water. Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot. He's really good in that. Yeah, that's an upcoming director who's really interesting. I've been
Mhm.
reading a lot of Cormac McCarthy lately, and I think that director has read quite a bit of Cormac McCarthy.
Nice. Yeah. Now that Quentin Tarantino's gotten me into westerns, I I really like Hell or High Water.
Yeah, well,
Kind of a
spaghetti
modern
western.
western. Yeah, spaghetti westerns,
Yeah,
which Hell or High Water is not,
yeah.
but
It's like a modern
it's a
newer.
it's a modern western.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love westerns. Westerns are quite good. What are some other old? I guess we could close out. What are some other actors we wanna talk about? I have one in particular that I like to shine a light on. Doesn't get as much
Mm.
appreciation, I think, but he's one of my faves. And that's Gene Hackman.
I was gonna say Gene Hackman.
Whoa!
I was like, because I didn't put him on my list, and then I was like, Gene Hackman. That guy's like my favorite actor ever.
That's weird. I mean, we both really appreciate Gene Hackman.
We
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his time in the 70s was super amazing. I mean, he was in Bonnie and Clyde, some Young Frankenstein, but he's also had some big hits: Poseidon Adventure, French Connection.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, what's your
Superman.
favorite Superman? Yeah,
Yeah.
as
Um,
Lex Luthor. Um, yeah, what's your fave Gene Hackman movie?
um, so I think my favorite Gene Hackman movie might actually be the Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a good one.
it's one that I revisit every year in the summertime. It's
Nice.
one of my summertime movies. And he is he is the leader of the group that is trying to, you know, escape the Poseidon
Yeah.
as it's underwater. And
Mm.
you know, throughout the movie, his faith is tested, and you know, he has to lead through it, and all of that. But it's great. It's a great performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I probably my favorite is the French Connection, which won him the Oscar.
Yep. Great
But
choice.
Hoosiers is also a
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah.
The
Hoosiers is a
sports
very good movie. The Royal Tenenbaums.
Royal Tenenbaums, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually is one of those people that retired from acting.
Yeah, which is
So,
cool. I guess
which
Daniel Day-Lewis did that apparently.
did he?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
with Phantom Thread. Or maybe he
Oh,
back.
so that's truly his last movie.
That's what he said. That's what
Oh
they said.
man, wow, end of an era.
I know, right?
Yeah, but yeah, Gene Hackman's a treasure,
Mm.
um, and he's to your point about, you know, Al Pacino and having one of those presences. He definitely has one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so many actors we could talk about. I think we're just going down the list of actors that have affected us. Others on my list, I haven't talked about Javier Bardem, Jamie Foxx, Jeff Bridges. Um, there are a lot.
Nice.
Of actors. Yeah.
Yep.
So
And
yeah.
let me give a shout out to the people I haven't talked about to give them my love. Christian Bale,
Yeah.
Robert Redford,
Yeah.
Denzel Washington, Octavia Spencer, and Michelle Williams.
I would love to talk about, real quick, Denzel Washington. I feel like he's definitely one of the best living actors, American actors, but I don't know if he's done his best work since the 90s. Like it's been a while. But he does good stuff, but it just hasn't been his best.
So I don't know if you have seen the movie Fences, which he also directed.
Yeah, that's really good.
It came out the same year as Manchester by the Sea, so I was a little biased in who I was hoping would win Best Actor that year because I fucking love Manchester by
You
the
love
Sea.
Manny by the Sea.
What?
You love Manny by the Sea.
I love Manny by the Sea. But I think Fences is one of his best performances to date. I think you broke up there, but I was saying I think Fences is one of his best performances.
Right.
And that was a more recent one. But yeah, he made some terrific movies in the 80s and 90s with, you know, Glory and Malcolm X, Hurricane. Remember the Titans, yeah.
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 Glory. Well, I guess that sums up our actors talk. We will be back shortly. We might have Wiley Lawrence back on the show.
Absolutely.
Leave a comment below if there's something you guys would like us to talk about or what you would like to bring up in Movie Mood.
All right. Be well, everybody.